Hey, hey, hey. What are you doing, goofball? Come on. This is some crazy rocks around here. I put that on my list of places to go. We didn't stop there on this. This was more of a we gotta find warm weather kind of trip, and so we had several day drive here. I'm going to show you all in upcoming videos. I hope you're here to see it all. Everybody take care, be safe, and we'll see you again real soon. Bit of snow over there. Pulled out of Salida, and this is really a straight shot south. Most of the route you can see on the map here is on 285. We did jog onto 17 for a bit, but then we picked up 285 again, and so it was all, you know, surface roads, no interstates, so really great country. Now, one of the things that I always experience when we came into this town right here, we had just driven for quite a while on straight, flat, pretty empty landscape with nothing really hospitable around. Yes, there are a couple of small intersections with stores and such, but when I come into a town after going through a long drive like that, where we're out in the middle of nothing, it feels good to come back into a town, because I get feeling kind of removed when I'm out in that bare countryside like that, and then to just suddenly you're driving back into a pretty well built town, that feels good to me. I feel like I'm back in touch, and once we got out of there, we're back out into the flat country here. But one thing that was great about this drive, despite getting a little bit of road construction here, this is one of those drives where the landscape changes pretty dramatically in not a long period of time. So you can see the trees starting to show up here, and we're starting to get some hills, and things change pretty rapidly up here, and I love when that happens. Like when I saw the first fir trees, pine trees here, it feels really great to change climates like that. The environment changes so much out here in such a short period of time with the elevation changes. And the whole time we were making this drive, we were watching the weather, because there was snow forecast up ahead, and we could see at times there were some snow bursts going on. We didn't get hit with any on the drive, but we could watch the snow happening up in front of us, over to our left. We definitely saw a lot of snowfall while we were doing this. You could see it up ahead of us there, but we got lucky. We didn't get any of it. Santa Fe, and on smaller and smaller roads, and I'm following Google Maps like we always do, and these are directions. This is actually, we're going to a camp location that I have been to before, so as I'm getting close to it, I'm kind of recognizing the roads, but then it just didn't seem right. And when I came to this like dead end, I knew something was wrong. So I had to do a turnaround right here on a really steep road and get us turned back around. And then here came Jeff. Now,
we got bad directions.
This was the end of a long driving day. And when this happens, when you get some bad GPS, I don't know. I was just I was getting a little wound up. I was hungry. And I'll explain what's going on here later in the video, but we ended up, winding our way through Santa Fe to get to the wrong location.
Take the next left onto County Road 62. Continue for 1.5 miles.
Yeah, it tried to do that to me. It said faster route available, and when it did faster route, it turned it back around. So I said, no, I don't want the faster route. And so the 11-mile thing, this is the place. I'm almost pulling in right now.
Okay, now I'm headed that way, so I think I got it right.
Yeah, and don't get weirded out. It's a really strange route. You go through like what looks like a dead-end road, and through a wash, and then up the other side, and then you're back on pavement. It's really strange, but I remember it from last time.
Okay, I'll be on my way.
Okay, bye-bye. Hey. Lefty. We just pulled in for the night here in Santa Fe. So we just went through one of those really odd things that happens where Google Maps takes you to the entirely wrong place. So I found this location on freecampsites.net. I clicked the directions. Jeff found the exact same spot in iOverlander, clicked on the directions, and both of us ended up on a dead-end road about 11 miles from here. And for the life of me, I don't know why Google Maps does that sometimes. So I do a U-turn, I go up to the end of the street, I hit the directions again, it says that you're 11 miles away, then it does that. We found a faster route. And the faster route took me back to the dead-end road. So when that popped up again, do you want the faster route? I'm like, no. So I drove the 11 miles, and we've been here before. I knew the spot, and put Google Maps and took us both to the wrong place. We were driving separate because he got backed up behind me. So I got there, got to the dead-end road, turned around, and on the way back out of there, here comes Jeff, because Google Maps took him to the exact same wrong place. Get to a place at the end of the day and it doesn't work. I felt like just throwing the phone through the window, for Christ's sake. So we're gonna get settled for the night. I'm starving, I gotta eat, and that's it for today. What? I'm going. Come on, let's go. There we go. Okay, come on. Truck fired up. It's like 25 degrees. So again, it started, but man, it makes sounds that I've never heard before. So it goes into that high idle, and as the idle starts coming up, it's and it starts making this roaring sound. I can only attribute it to the fan, that there's something with the fan. Then if you fluctuate the RPM, it goes away, but if you let it do that idle climbing, it gets to a certain RPM and that roar. So I think maybe my fan, you know, the clutch fan is going bad. So I've got to look at that. I also want to check over all of the plumbing I did, and by plumbing I mean the air intake system and the turbo hoses and all that. I want to check all that over. I seemed to be okay on power yesterday, but I just want to be sure that everything is holding together as I made it, because that sound is just, you know, one of the best ways to take care of your vehicle is to always listen and feel and be really in tune with that. And I'm really in tune with this truck and the engine and all the noises it makes. And this is a totally new noise, totally new sound that I've never heard. So we're running, we're idling now. It did better than it did yesterday morning. Yesterday morning it was like 15 degrees up in Salida. And so I just said, I am going straight south. I am not going through this anymore, these cold mornings. You know, I don't have my block heater. I'm an idiot for not having that thing functioning. I could have put my generator out this morning and run the block heater for a couple hours. That would definitely help this poor engine start up on these cold mornings. But I'm done with this cold stuff. I am just over it, you know. We were about 2 weeks late in this trip. We should have been 2 weeks earlier. Of course, I had the mechanical problems back in New York. And so that precluded me from being able to see the places I wanted to see because the weather has turned. And we, like dumpskis, are up here in the cold weather. So we're still at, I'm looking at the torque app, it's got the altitude 6377, so 6,377 foot elevation here in Santa Fe. I want to get considerably lower than this. So we're gonna let this warm up for 15 minutes or so. I'll get clothes changed, get Lefty out, and finish my cup of coffee, and then we'll get out of here. How'd we do in the battery compartment last night? So the batteries are at 43 degrees. You know, you can hear the fan. I just kicked it up a bit. So it was at like 45 degrees. I was watching it. So when the diesel heater fires up and starts blowing, you know, when it cycles up, that warm air is going right over and right through into that cabinet through the fan, and then when it idles itself back down. So I'll watch this temperature, you know, up and down a few degrees, because every time the diesel heater kicks up, it superheats that cabinet too. The diesel heater's been cycling up and down all night the last 2 nights just because of how chilly it's been. I'm gonna get my clothes changed. I want to get out of here. Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all again really soon. Take care, be safe.